What's up, everybody? Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on the FTB server. So there's been a few changes going on. For those of you that may not have been aware, because I mentioned it, I think it was in my Space Engineer series, but not everybody watches that. The reason there was no Minecraft episode last week, as well as no Subnautica, I think were the only two that I missed, was because, one, my AC was out over the weekend, last weekend, so I wasn't home. I was staying at my brother's, so I wasn't home to record Minecraft, nor edit it, render it, etc., etc., etc. And then throughout the rest of that week, I had worked on trying to compile everything and put it all back together when, on Thursday, well, actually, technically Wednesday night, it was the night before my Subnautica episode was supposed to go up. I had recorded it and everything. The hard drive I used for recording things on died. Well, sort of. Short version. It's not functional at the moment. So, I didn't have access to the footage, and it was too late to record everything, didn't feel like it, etc., etc., so on and so forth. So, basically, there was some stuff that I recorded and talked about, and now it's gone, so we're going to have to give you a brief update. There probably won't be too many, if any, shenanigans stuff with the team, because I'm probably going to record this fairly quickly. I'm recording this on Saturday afternoon, because I have stuff going on Sunday, and the video is supposed to go up Monday. So, I don't have time to do multi-day recording stuff like I usually do, where it takes me time and blah, 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 blah. So, with that said, let's get right down to all the stuff that's changed. You'll notice my layout's a little different here. I also found out you can use these cable covers, or facades, or whatever, on the block facing the cable. So that's kind of cool, and at some point I may actually set this back in one. I'm not sure on that yet, because actually I think I'm going to end up moving all this crap. And I might not, only because I would put it on an exterior wall, and that's not really good for security stuff. So I'm not sure. The biggest changes, though, you'll notice my arcane crafting terminal is gone. The reason for that is I've kind of done some upgrades. So, like this, notice here, again, another facade cover kind of fills that out. I actually added another floor for nodes. I had shown this in my video I recorded, but that video went bye-bye. So, now it's not actually connected to this relay at the moment, because I think my wand is fully charged. So what I've done here is there's a node stabilizer, which what the stabilizer does is it prevents other nodes, if you put a node next to it, it prevents them from getting bullied, quote-unquote, which is basically absorbed by other nodes, and things like that. And it basically secures it. It stabilizes it. It makes it kind of secured. And then it will... The only drawback to it is if you stabilize the node, it will reduce its recharge rate. I think it cuts it in half. And then, with a redstone signal off, if you, this is a little backwards. If you apply a redstone signal, you can see in the Walia it says that it's off. If you apply one, this will turn off the stabilizer. If you remove a redstone signal from a transducer, it'll turn off. So it's kind of backwards. You need one for the transducer, you don't need one for the stabilizer. It's weird. But anyways... So with it stabilized, you can put a transducer above it and then put a redstone signal. I just threw a block on top of it, figured what the heck. I might chisel it to make it look a little better or something. But with these combined, it will turn the node into an energized node. And in doing that, you'll notice the numbers are really small. It's like 5, whatever. You're getting, I want to say it's 0.0 of whatever the number is. I could be wrong. But I want to say that it's like Aqua and Terra being 5. I want to say that's like 0.05 of viz, but it's per tick and it never needs to recharge. So it's constantly feeding you viz. So for stuff like the arcane furnace and stuff like that requires like ignis and things like that, you, instead of always putting down jars or whatever, you can have it constantly being fed to it. In this case, I put a cable for my ME system down here with a Viz relay interface and then a Viz relay. So the Viz relay is from Thaumcraft and it connects these energized nodes to where they can be used. And then the relay connects it to an ME system, which is awesome. So then you put like this, an arcane crafting table, or terminal, excuse me, and then when you put a wand or something in there, it will charge it. This is the other big thing. I recorded all this. I recorded me making the wand caps, the staff, a bunch of stuff, and that was all part of the episode that never aired. So I apologize for that, because I did really want to show my first steps into Ichor and the Kami tab, but I didn't. Well, I did, but it failed. So, Ichorium adorned Ichor cloth strapped silverwood wand. Yeah, that's not a mouthful or anything. But it holds 1,000 of every kind of viz. Or for all the primals. So this has been really handy because you know how long it would take to charge up one of these suckers trying to fly around and find all the nodes that had, you know, ugh. And it was taking me equally a long time. I kept throwing down a node here and letting this one absorb it and get some, and then I'd put one over here and I was trying to feed it and make a bigger node. Finally, I just bit the bullet and turned it into an energized node and figured what the heck. So now, when I use stuff, I can throw this back in here and it'll just tick away and do that. For example, let's just grab, just screw it, why not? I'll just throw it away afterwards or something. But then the other thing that I made, some of you may be familiar with this already, is the Osmotic Enchanter. And basically it allows you to use enchantments, but rather than XP, it allows you to pick your enchantments, pick the strength, and then pull Viz from the wand instead of XP. Very cool. And in combination with an Ichor wand and an energized node, you can pump out enchantments. Now the one catch with this enchanter, it's dangerous to make, literally. It has a dangerous instability level. Right here. It's not super expensive, but the dangerous instability can be an issue. And then you need these obsidian totems, which can't be crafted. You have to collect them out in the world from pillars that you find. And they need to be at least 2 tall, and you need 6 of them within a 4-block radius. So I just threw this together temporarily. I don't know if this room is going to stay this way. I just needed the functionality. And then you can throw the item, and you can see all the different enchantments you can get, and they're unlocked from these tabs in Tinker's... or Thaumic Tinkering and Apocrypha? Yeah, Apocrypha has some other ones. So there's all kinds of stuff. Bane of Arthropods. For this is a sword, so Capitalist I think gives you more coins. Educational gives you more XP. There's a bunch of them for weapons. Disarming, Smite, Sharpness, Knockback. I personally like... I don't see it. There's one for Vampiric, which basically drains health from the mob. I don't know. Let's just go with, like, looting, and then you can go up like this, blah, blah, blah. Actually, we won't do it very high. We're just going to do educational. Let's just say that. And it'll show you what the Viz count needs. So for 1, it takes 12. For 2, it takes 42 of certain ones. These last 2. The rest are 28. So on and so forth. And then you throw this in there. Apparently you have to do that first. Educational. And then there's a tiny little rubber seal that you hit and it starts, drains everything, does cool animations, and then it enchants things. So now I have 900 and something of each, and when I go over here it should work. I've had issues with this though. Like so. I don't know what is up with this, but every time, like when I put it above, upstairs, I had it originally up here. In the middle here, didn't work. I had it over there on my, where my terminal used to be, didn't work. And the only time I got it to work was down here right next to the node connector. And then when I logged out and logged back in or turned the server off or whatever, now it won't do it again unless I use the memory card every time. It's really annoying. I don't really know why it does that. Let's see, shift right click to clear it. So then what I do is you shift right click, you get the settings, and then you right click and it loads the settings, and it's supposed to work. But I've had a lot of issues with this, and I don't know why. I really don't. I've had quite a few issues. Let me take this out first. Oops, no, don't get rid of that. Pick that back up. So I save the settings, loaded the settings. Yeah, I don't know. And it wasn't this, because it can see this, or it's supposed to. So let me take this back out and try that. But I've had tons of issues getting this to work, and I don't really understand why. Tell you what, I'm going to move this around a little bit. I'll be back in a second. Okay, so now it kind of did it on its own and reconnected. I don't know what the problem was, because I put that there before, and as you can see, this block is not interfering with the beam. So I don't know why moving it fixed it. But it seems to have. Now, let me just see if throwing this in here will work. No. See, that's what's weird. That's what's weird. This is connected, and per the memory card it's connected, but I have to, like, reset it every time I load back into the game. It's really aggravating. And now it's not even working at all. Okay, so, fun fact. If you try to pick up the terminal with a pickaxe, it breaks the whole thing. Good to know. Well, it kind of works out anyway, because I kind of want to just experiment and find out what's going on. So we're going to put that there. Viz relay. You know what? Let's do the memory thing before I put anything on it and see what that does. I saw in a video, and they use the back panel. There's like 3 collision boxes. There's one here, and one there, and the same with this stuff. But the way I saw it done was this back panel to the first panel. That's what I saw. And it still has been super persnickety. So that's good. That reconnected. But it's still not charging the wand. And I don't know why, because every guide, everything I've read, they all show it to do exactly that way. And I don't know what's going on. And actually, I hadn't had it do this before. Normally, when I reset the memory card, or when I did, it like went back to being fine, and now it's just not working at all. So, I don't understand, only because everything is set up properly. If I did it wrong, and then you look at something, you're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But when I watch every tutorial video, every single one of them, it's like, do this, and I'm like, I did all that. And then it'll charge, and on theirs it charges, and on mine it did the first couple times. And now it's just like it won't do it. And I don't understand why. But, so anyways, enough ranting about things not working, because that's annoying. Mainly it's annoying because I did all of this to get a better charging system for the wand, and then when it refuses to charge, it's just really aggravating, because that's kind of the whole point, and now I can't draw from this the other way. You can't just let it be a regular node anymore. You can, but there's a risk of it like fading or becoming broken or whatever. So it's really frustrating that this isn't working. I even went as far as to move it down here, and when I moved it down here, then it worked the first time, and then when I left the server, shut it down, whatever, then it broke again. And so I was kind of like, oh, I had my wrench on me the whole time. So yeah, that's been really aggravating for me, because I want this to work. It's a really cool feature of being able to connect your system and do all of this stuff, only for it to turn around and break on you is really annoying. So what I'm going to try one last thing. Since it's not working down here anyway, I'm going to try and reset it again, but this time I'm going to take it up to the other area of my Thaumcraft room and see kind of if I can get it to work. Since it's not working down here anyway, maybe I will get lucky and where I actually wanted it in the first place will end up working. I'm just going to put it here. Okay, so there's that. Let's Right click that so it's loaded. And it still won't charge. I don't know. I don't give up because I really want it to work, but I don't know why 1 minute it works, the next minute you'll do the exact same thing, and then it doesn't. Or vice versa. You'll do the same thing 4 times, and one time it works. I don't get it. So anyways, not bitter. Not bitter or anything. Mainly because I know it does work. That's part of the really frustrating thing, is I know it works because that's how I got 1,000 viz in that one beforehand, was that it worked. So it's kind of like, why are you not working now? Anyways, I'm just moving on. We're good. We're not bitter. Not bitter. I am going to pause here for a second, though, and do some other stuffs and see what else we want to accomplish this episode, because I'd actually like to get more into Ichor, especially since I lost my first stuff into it. Maybe like making the robes or something so that I can start enchanting them would be kind of cool. And I have to admit, I don't know how into this I'm going to get, because Ichor cloth robes and stuff, they don't break. They have no durability. They resist breaking, which is awesome. But when you read some of this stuff, it's like, the cowl doubles as goggles of revealing, the wearer is granted unlimited underwater breath. A lot of this stuff, minus the goggles of revealing, a lot of this you can do through enchantment, so I'm not really sure it's worth all of this stuff. Now granted, you could take that and then enchant it and it would be really OP, but, you know. So I'm going to need to get a wither, I think, which I also missed, because I recorded that too, my new wither killing area. So I'm going to farm some skeletons, probably, see if I can get some heads, and then we'll go do that and go from there. Okay, so I got everything that we need, and I actually went through the steps because I realized I had a ton of these necrotic bones from wither farming to get the wither skeleton heads, that I actually went through and made 9 of the yellow heart containers, so I've almost, you can see on my health bar, it's almost fully recharged now. So I basically have 29 hearts instead of 10, I think, which is pretty awesome. And I mentioned this is my lovely Mistcraft world. I went through a bunch of trial and errors before I actually found one that I liked. Finally got normal overworld gen, flat terrain, and it has these obelisks of emeralds and gold. Where's a gold one? Is there a gold one around here? I used up almost 600 gold to make my heart canisters, so I'm gonna have to farm in here. Yeah, so we got these golden emeralds. This is my ritzy world. And really, the only bad thing is mining fatigue and slowness. So we got lucky in that and the sun cycle is pretty good. It's got some weird stuff, but mostly, it stays light most of the time, which is cool. This was a Mistcraft library that I just decided, hey, let's use this as a wither area, because reasons. Alright, and I mentioned this briefly, but again, all that footage is gone, so I'm repeating it. But this is that reinforced obsidian, which, unless I make a bigger, whatchamacallit, pen, I guess, for him, it won't prevent him from attacking, and at certain angles you can get hit by it too. But what it does prevent is he can't get away. So, but yeah, so not that hard to kill a wither right now, the way this is. So whenever we need nether stars, it's more time consuming to get the, and you might be wondering why 9 instead of the full 10. I ran out of, what was it that I ran out of? I think it was necrotic bones. I had 8. I didn't have 9. Okay. I just wanted to cut out the Mistcraft loading sequence because sometimes that can be a little time consuming. So we got ourselves a nether star, or nether cube, according to my texture pack. Sphax is weird. It's one of the few texture packs that actually renames things, as far as I know. Like, it'll actually name some weird stuff. Alright, so the thing in question here. What do I need? For the standard, let's do the robes. The robes are going to need 8. I think, right? Yeah, 8. And to do 8 cloth, I'm going to need enough to make 9. So I'll need an extra one. Okay, so that's that. Let me check and see, because I have some left over, because these don't match up. There's 1, and I have 5. Okay, so I could actually do one of these right now. I don't have the fabric, but that's okay. Alright. So if I did 1, that gives me 8, and 5 would be 13, I think. So I would still have 5. I could make, like, the boots, maybe? Something? I don't know. And I don't know why this keeps happening, too. I keep tying up... Adrian named my horse Horsey McHorseface. So that's fun. I'm loving that. But I keep tying him up, and every time I leave the world, like the overworld, and come back, he's untied, and the lead's laying there. I don't understand. It's right up there with this thing that's, like, not charging. I don't get it. So, let me double check and see if we've got what we need. It's Humanus, Lux, and Spiritus. 32, 32, 64. Nope, nope, and yes. Okay. So let me get what we need, and then we'll make some Ichor. Okay, so I think I've been working on getting all the essential stuff that I need squared away for a couple of different things, so I'm hoping we can just burn through them all. I've also made some upgrades here since the last time we've been in the infusion altar room. I put a bunch of zombie heads because that mob essence farm just gives me a ton of these things, so I know they are supposed to minimize instability, so I threw a bunch of those all over the place. And I changed out the torches for floating tallow candles, because the tallow candles are supposed to also minimize stuff. So now everything pretty much in this room minimizes instability, hopefully, in theory. I did with the Osmotic Enchanter, which is a dangerous level. I think that's the highest level of instability. I did have 2 flux goo incidents where it knocked it off a pedestal and made goo. That's why I always keep a handy-dandy stone on me at all times. Now there is somewhere, was it under Thaumic Esoterica? I think there's somewhere where there's a shovel thing to get rid of flux, which I thought was really kind of cool. Is it under Apocrypha? Yeah, here it is. Shovel Purifier. Easiest way to remove patches of taint by reinforcing Thaumium shovel, blah 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 blah. The shovel is a purifier can dig. If held in your right hand and right-clicked, the shovel will purify all flux, goo, and gas from a small radius at the cost of durability. You no longer have to clean up infusion mishaps with a piece of cobblestone. So that's definitely something we should look into making really, really soon. I don't think I have enough Essentia to do that. If I do, I already have, like, the stuff. What do we need? 24 crystal, 8 heal, and 12 of mine? Mine I don't think I have any of. I only have 2 of that. Yeah, so we don't have enough to do that, but I'd really like to, especially as we get into more advanced stuffs. Okay, so for Ichor, we're going to put the Nether Star in the middle. Nether Shard, I almost said star again, on the left, Ender Shard on the right. Dagnabbit, I keep getting these all out of order. There we go. I have Ender on the bottom and Diamond on the top, and I am missing my wand. How did I do that? Some thaumaturge I ended up being. So yeah, the ingredients really aren't that hard for late game for Ichor. And it's 32 Humanus, 32 Lux, 64 Spiritus. We have more than we need. I always put more than I need, just in case it buys me a little bit of time while if something gets knocked off a pedestal or something. And here's the thing. I know some of these Thaumcraft helmets do the whole, oh, it doubles as goggles of revealing. Here's the thing, with the Walia up top, you can highlight something like this, I see how many of each essentia it's using. So I don't really need goggles of revealing. So, you know, it's a little cheaty, but if I was just playing with Thaumcraft, it'd be a little different. And I have to admit, I don't like the idea of it, but when I go to do Ichorium, like, Awaken stuff, like the armor and things, which will probably be fairly soon, as I build up more stuff, I hate thinking I'd have to make 2 of everything, because they cost a lot of stuff. It's not super expensive, but it is really time-consuming. But I just am always so leery of infusions where it deletes items, and I just don't want that to happen. Alright, so we get Ichor, which should give us 8. Now, while I'm right here, I think I've decided what I want to do. I'm torn between making both the chest plate and the boots, not of the Awaken, but just the normal Ichor cloth, or making the bottomless pouch. I think I'm going to do the bottomless pouch for 2 reasons. One, I need to start making more foci for my wands, and I don't have any, like equal trade, fire, shock, whatever. This is a focus pouch, and the pouch not only carries more than 4 chests, but it also doubles as a standard focus pouch, allowing any foci within it to be inserted into a wand like normal, kiss your inventory problems goodbye. So I really like this whole idea, and it's not too bad. I do need a wand focus of portable hull, though. So let's set this up real quick while we're right here, and get the rest of it. And in case you're wondering, yes, I could make another one. I don't have another nether star, so that's why. And I did the same thing here. I doubled everything that I need. Just because I'm always just super leery of it just straight up deleting my objects. So, corner. So we'll put one there. And let's try one here and one here. What I typically do, I typically set up my pedestals this way. Some are more crazy than others, recipe-wise. But if you'll notice, if you follow these lines right here, I don't know if my mouse cursor is visible, but from the ender pearl to the nether quartz, you can see it's just to the edge north of the cross point, the line here. So for me, I use these as a line, so if it's just north, I put it on that pedestal. That's kind of how I do it. I don't know if it's right or not. And like these are on the inside, and this is bad. So we'll put this one here, and it kind of equals out. So there, and no, this is earth. This is air, right? I think. Yeah. Okay. Now this one is actually, believe it or not, this was high. The portable hole. Oh, this is minor. Never mind. It's the other one that's high. Or is it? Yeah, the bottomless pouch is very high. So that'll be interesting. We should be okay though. Usually on minor instability with, I mean, I just did a high one and it didn't do anything. So typically on minor, it won't do like anything. But I'm never sure about Thaumcraft. It always surprises me. Okay, so I'm going to speed this up, like I said, since this is minor. I don't think this will be an issue. Alrighty, so I think we've got what we need now. I made the portable whole wand focus, which really didn't do much, if anything, or wasn't that hard. So we're just going to make these. I am turning them all into cloth, and you might be like, oh my gosh, why are you turning all those into cloth? But my thought process is I'll eventually use them all anyway for making stuff. So we're going to do this. Oh my gosh, Ichor cloth robes, can't believe it. And I did switch out my armor to my robes, so like that it's supposed to be 75, and the Thaumonomicon it says it's only 45, I think. And I may do some enchanting on this temporarily until we make the awakened ones. Now, we have 5, and I need 2 for this. I could make 5, and I could make the helmet. Decisions. I don't know. I don't know. I probably should just make the helmet. Or the robe. I mean, oh, that's so tempting. This one does zoom. That's pretty much all I ever use this for, zoom and night vision. But I think this one, when you awaken, it does night vision, and I can enchant it with night vision too. This does unlimited water breath and blah, 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 blah. Ooh, but I really like the idea of 4 chests and a foci pouch too. I'm so torn. Alright, tell you what. I can't do anything with 3. That's the problem. Like, if I had 1 more, I could go ahead and make the boots and then make, but I don't, and I can't, so I don't know what to do. I'm gonna make the pouch. Yeah, I'm gonna make the pouch. The reason for that being, I have 3, so I might be able to do something with that a little easier, because I'll have more of them, and I do think it would benefit me in the long run. Okay, so with that said, we need to make a couple things, and this episode might get a little bit long, but the way I figured it kind of makes up for not having an episode before. So let's make the pouch here. I love this wand, though. This just has so much viz. Even though it's not recharging, it still just has a ton. Do I have any actual leather? Or can I use this and break this down? Can I put it in a pulverizer and make more leather? What is this? Composite vest. That's new. Huh. Wonder what that does. Okay. Alright, so I need leather. Let me work on that and I'll be back. Okay, so I think I finally have everything that we need to make this pouch. I did go ahead and make a shovel of purifier just in case we needed to quickly get rid of any goo. And I also went ahead and used the osmotic enchanter and got a repair 2 set on it. So if we do use it, it will repair itself, which would be cool. Okay. So now we need to put the pouch in the center. Let's get our book back. Okay, we need Ichor on the sides. So kind of the same way we had it set up before. And I did realize that other than the wand focus, I actually do have 2 of everything, which is kind of comforting. So we're going to do this one here, I think diamond here, which means the chest goes here, and the jar goes there. Yeah. Okay. Here goes nothing. Yeah, let's do it that way. Okay, here goes nothing. Okay, so we got that. Man, I hate these ones that have, like, so high of Essentia because it takes so long for them to get done that I'm always afraid they're gonna pop something. Alright, so I'm probably gonna, like, pause it here real quick, and I'll be back if anything interesting happens. Boom! Alright. And we got our bottomless pouch. So I can say, overall, this was a very high instability that having this many heads and the floating candles and everything, I haven't had too many problems with the infusion altar. I don't know if adding more, like maybe a ring of heads around this edge might improve it further or something. Dangerous ones still concern me because, like the osmotic enchanter, I did have it pop 2 things off the pedestal and make goo twice during the same enchantment, which was a little freaky. Unfortunately, I do have extra stuff now, but oh well. Okay, that's gonna go there. I'm gonna throw that in there, I think. There we go. Now, let's throw this out and scan it. Yay. Let's switch this, see what we're looking at. Holy crap! Okay, so that carries a lot, and it can carry focuses or foci, which is awesome. So we're gonna work on, like, I'll probably replace my golden bag, because that's nice. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 54 slots. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My math's a little rusty, but that's a lot more. Or at least a significant amount more. So that's going in there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep that in my backpack here. Because having that and having the other, like, I'll have a ton of stuff to be able to carry it around. That'll be kind of awesome. Next thing would be to soulbound this sucker. And I also need to get some focus things, or foci, to put in there. And I need to get this fixed, so it'll charge my frickin' wand. If you have any history experience with that, let me know. I need help. Thank you. Alright, on that note, we're going to end this episode here. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you all next time. Peace!